Chapter 1. The Curse of the Clever. There are more geniuses working at gas stations than inside Fortune 500 boardrooms. Every city has at least one brilliant mind hunched over a checkout counter, head buzzing with ideas that will never see daylight. 85% of people think they're smarter than average, but only 1% ever produce anything so real it leaves proof behind. The world is littered with the wreckage of almost. The artist who never finished the painting. The coder who never shipped the app. The writer who tinkered with the perfect first chapter for 10 years. You know who wins. The mediocre finisher. The one with average talent, clumsy execution, sloppy drafts, but the nerve to hit publish while the genius overthinks in private. Studies show that overthinking activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. Your brilliant brain is literally trying to protect you from embarrassment by never letting you risk exposure. So it feeds you the lie, wait, prepare, research more, perfect at first. And every day you buy that lie, your genius rots 1 inch more. Meanwhile, the world moves on. People with half your talent, half your IQ, are making twice the impact. You call them lucky or privileged. The truth is, they're just visible. They have receipts. You have potential. Here's a brutal fact. Potential doesn't pay rent. Execution does. Every billionaire's idea started ugly. Every movement was mocked before it was mimicked. Every viral clip was one post button away from rotting in a notes app. You think your brain is your greatest asset, but right now, it's your prison. It's a matrix of excuses disguised as wisdom. It can calculate 1,000 outcomes, but it can't stomach being seen trying and failing. You're not failing because you're dumb. You're failing because you're brilliant and safe. And the safe genius gets eaten alive by the reckless fool who ships. This book is not here to teach you more. You have enough ideas, enough notebooks, enough brilliance for 5 lifetimes. This book is about the execution gap, the distance between your head and the real world. It's about ripping the door off that prison. It's about replacing the thrill of almost with the proof of done. If you're the clever one who knows how everything could work, but never tests if it does, good news. This is your exit. Chapter 1 starts now. The Fool Who Sold a Rock. Look at Gary Dahl. You probably don't know his name, but you know his punchline. In 1975, he sold rocks as pets. Literally, a rock in a box. He called it the pet rock. No genius branding. No big marketing firm. No billion-dollar startup capital. Just a joke. A rock and straw bedding with a sarcastic care manual. 6 months later, he'd sold 1.5 million rocks and walked away a millionaire. All because he did what every clever cynic around him mocked. He shipped the dumb idea. While clever people scoffed, he laughed his way to the bank. Nobody remembers the genius who almost launched the next pet rock. They remember the fool who did. The lie of the right time. There is no right time. If you're waiting for the stars to align, know this, they won't. Disney was built in the Great Depression. Airbnb launched in the middle of the 2008 financial crisis when people were losing their homes. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started Apple in a cramped garage with no funding and no plan for world domination. The lie of not ready yet is the best disguise fear ever invented. Your brain loves to wear that mask because it feels smart, strategic, mature, reasonable. But every year you polish that excuse, the nerve to actually do it corrodes. Meanwhile, someone dumber and bolder launches a sloppy version, learns from reality, and leaves you behind. You think the world rewards readiness. It doesn't. It rewards reality. Done beats perfect. Done always beats almost ready. Truth. If it feels 70% ready, it's ready. If it feels 100% ready, you waited too long. Instagram started as Burb, a clunky location app nobody cared about. They launched it anyway. Users told them what worked, the photo sharing. No one would know Instagram if they'd waited until they'd perfected Burb. Mini challenge, the 70% test. 1, pick an idea you keep polishing. 2, ask, could I launch a first version in the next 72 hours? 3, if yes, do it. 4, tape this on your wall. Perfect is procrastination dressed up as high standards. The right time is a fairy tale. Your time is when you act. Overthinking is cowardice in disguise. Overthinking feels noble. It feels like strategy. It feels like caution. In reality, it's fear dressed up in expensive words. When you overthink, you're not solving the problem, you're hiding from the result. It's like driving a car in circles while pretending you're searching for the best route. Meanwhile, the person willing to stall, Restart, break down, ask for directions, and push the damn car uphill. Gets there. Your mind is a weapon turned inward on itself. You're a prisoner of your own IQ. Your clever brain tells you, if we plan perfectly, we'll never feel pain. But you still feel it, the slow, creeping dread of never seeing what you could have been. Facts. The number one regret of the dying is not what they did wrong, but what they never tried. Studies prove action cures fear faster than planning ever will. Nobody has ever overthought themselves into greatness. They did their way there. Mini challenge, the imperfect move. 1. Pick one tiny move that terrifies you. 2. Ship it ugly. Post the draft. Make the call. Send the email. 3. Notice what happens. The world doesn't end, but a door opens. Your brain is a prison or a weapon. Your mind is your edge or your cage. If you turn it inward, it traps you. If you turn it outward, it changes the room you walk into. Brilliance means nothing without proof. Potential feels good but pays nothing. The people you envy are not always smarter than you. They're braver in daylight. Stop hoarding your sharpness. Aim it out. Get loud. Get seen. Be the fool with receipts instead of the genius with excuses. If you've ever told yourself, I'm too smart to fail, you're half right. You're too smart to risk. And that's why you're losing. You don't need another plan. You don't need another notebook. You don't need another podcast or 5-step framework. You need motion. Now, Chapter 2, Worshipping Potential. Potential is the softest pillow you'll ever suffocate on. It keeps you warm at night. It flatters you during the day. It whispers, you're special. You're meant for more. Not now, but soon. And you believe it, because it's so comforting to think you're meant for greatness. So you stay parked on the runway. You polish your wings, plan your perfect takeoff. Imagine the headlines you'll get when you finally fly. But you never leave the ground. Here's the truth. Potential is rented. Execution is how you pay rent. Fact. Every graveyard on Earth is stuffed with untapped potential. The unfinished paintings. The unwritten books. The inventions that never left the garage. Most people die exactly how they lived. Brilliant in theory, invisible in reality. You are not owed anything for your promise. The world does not pay you in recognition for what you might do. It pays you for what you produce. When you worship potential, you trap yourself in the future. You become addicted to the high of what you could be instead of the pain of doing the boring work to become it. Potential is a drug. Execution is rehab. A real story. The artist who hoarded masterpieces. Jean-Michel Basquiat became a world-famous artist before he was 30 because he flooded New York City with messy, raw, shocking paintings. Meanwhile, his old friend from the same street corner kept sketchbooks full of ideas, half-finished canvases, and plans. One sold for millions. The other never left his apartment. Nobody remembers the secret genius. They remember the work that got out the door. Potential feels safe because it's private. Potential can't be judged. It can't be rejected. It can't flop in front of an audience. It's a locked room where you're always brilliant and never embarrassed. Your potential is a fantasy, a someday version of you that never has to fight for respect because it's never seen by the real world. It's your clever brain's way of staying safe. If I keep it private, nobody can poke holes in it. Nobody can see me bleed. But here's the flip side. Nobody can see you in either. Fact. A 2010 study in psychological science showed that telling people your goals makes you less likely to finish them. Why? Because your brain gets the dopamine hit just from saying it. Potential gives you a false reward for zero risk. Execution makes you real. The only way to trade potential for proof is to execute. Put it in the world. Let people hate it. Let people love it. Let people see you build it in real time. Proof is magnetic. Mystery is boring when it stays mystery forever. The harsh reality. You do not get paid for your potential. You get paid for receipts. Did you publish the book? Ship the product? Release the track? Build the app? Make the video? Did you leave evidence that you were here, that you did something with that clever brain? Break the potential cycle. Keycap 1, grab one idea you've been hoarding for someday. Keycap 2, make it smaller. Much smaller. Turn it into a minimum version, a sketch, a tweet, a sample chapter, a rough prototype, a 30-second video. Keycap 3, ship it within 24 hours. Show anyone, online or offline. Feel the discomfort of being seen. That's rent money for your potential. Replace your potential with proof. Potential is a loan. Execution is repayment. Every day you don't ship, you borrow more confidence from your future self. One day, the debt collectors come, regret, envy, and what if. You don't have to be the best in the room. You just have to leave proof that you were in the room. Your talent is worthless if nobody can see it. You think you're protecting your genius, but you're starving it to death in the dark. Shine a light on it. Let people see it raw, unfinished, and imperfect. Let them see you trying, so you can become undeniable. Your potential is not your identity. Your output is. When you die, people won't say, "He had amazing ideas in his mind." They'll point to what you made, what you gave away, what you built where others just dreamed. Stop worshiping the fantasy. Feed the proof. Chapter 3. Execution pays the rent. Potential is rented. Execution is how you pay for it. If you don't pay, it gets repossessed. Every day you sit on a genius idea but do nothing with it. The rent piles up, and when it comes due, you pay in regret. Execution is the brutal landlord that doesn't care how clever you are. You can be the sharpest mind in your city. If you don't produce, you're invisible. The world does not give awards for best intentions. It rewards output. It pays the ones who deliver, not the ones who plan to deliver. Proof beats mystery. Mystery feels powerful. You love people wondering, what's she working on? What's he about to launch? But mystery without proof is a ghost. People can't follow fog, they follow footprints. Your ideas must leave a trail. Tiny, imperfect wins build credibility faster than a perfect plan sitting in your head. Fact. Rappers who flood SoundCloud with 50 rough tracks get further than the genius who polishes one mixtape for 5 years. Designers who post one new mock-up daily get hired faster than the genius who hides 200 unpublished concepts. Your mystery is meaningless. Your proof is undeniable. Execution builds momentum. When you take action, any action, you break the mental loop that keeps you frozen. The first attempt feeds the second. The second makes the third easier. Momentum is not motivation. It's motion feeding on itself. You do not need to feel inspired. You need to do something uninspired and let the doing fuel the spark. Fact. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. The brain hates unfinished tasks. Start, and your mind will fight to finish it for you. The genius who acts daily always beats the genius who waits for inspiration. Build a 1-week streak. Keycap one pick one daily action so small it feels almost dumb. Post a sketch. Write 200 words. Make a 30-second clip. Send one pitch. Keycap 2 do it for 7 days in a row. No skips. Keycap 3 don't judge the quality. Measure only did I ship? Closing. Your potential is the lease. Your execution is the rent check. Miss enough payments, and your genius gets evicted, and someone else moves in with your spot. The edge isn't brilliance. The edge is repeated proof. Be the one who leaves a trail so thick they can't deny you. Be the one who moves so fast you trip in public, but keep moving anyway. No more potential on credit. Pay the rent. Daily. Visibly. Undeniably. Chapter 4. The Prison of Overthinking. Overthinking is the genius's invisible prison. It feels safe, but it's a cage. It feels smart, but it's self-sabotage in a suit. It promises clarity, but delivers paralysis. If you're reading this book, odds are your mind is a Ferrari stuck in neutral, engine roaring, wheels spinning, but you never leave the driveway. You're so sharp you can see 10 steps ahead. You predict every failure before it happens. You imagine 1,000 problems before the first one appears. And while you're sitting in the driver's seat rehearsing routes, someone else with half your IQ is halfway down the road in a rust bucket. Fact. Neuroscience shows that rumination, endlessly replaying thoughts, lights up the same pain pathways in the brain as physical injury. Overthinking hurts, but your brain does it anyway, because it feels like control. Here's the savage truth. Overthinking is cowardice with a PhD. It makes you feel productive while it steals your time, energy, and courage. A real story. The overthinker who missed the train. In 1998, 2 Stanford PhD students had an idea for a new way to search the web. They called it backrub, but they thought it was too raw, too early, not ready. So they offered to sell it for $1 million. Excite, then the second biggest search engine in the world, overthought the deal. Do we really need this? What if it doesn't scale? The timing isn't right. They passed. The 2 students kept tinkering and eventually renamed their idea. Today we call it Google. Excite doesn't exist anymore. Overthinking killed it. The illusion of control. Your mind loves loops. It tricks you into believing that if you think about every possible outcome, you'll protect yourself from pain. You won't. You'll just protect yourself from progress. Overthinking is a control freak. It hates the raw chaos of action. It wants certainty before movement, but certainty only comes after movement. Fact. Psychologists call this the action bias. Top performers know. When in doubt, act. The doing reveals the next step. The genius freezes. Mini challenge, the action bias drill. Keycap 1, pick something you've been spinning your wheels about. Keycap 2, set a timer for 10 minutes. Keycap 3, make a decision, any decision. Keycap 4, move on it for 24 hours, no reversals. Watch how your brain screams. Good. Do it anyway. Clarity comes from motion. You don't get clarity from thinking. You get clarity from testing. The first rep of anything is messy, but it's information you can't get by sitting in your head. Do you think YouTube's founders knew it would become a billion-dollar video empire? No, their first version was a glitchy dating site. They pivoted only because they shipped something flawed and watch what people did with it. Clarity is earned by exposure to reality. Your brain hates reality because it can't control it. That's the point. The 1-hour experiment. Keycap 1, take an idea you keep researching to death. Keycap 2, force yourself to launch a micro version in 1 hour. Examples. Want to start a blog? Write a single raw post and publish it. Want to build an app? Make a 1-page landing page. Want to teach? Record a 2-minute explainer video and post it. Keycap 3, watch what happens in the real world. This is your data, not your daydreams. Turn the prison into a weapon. Your brain is not the enemy. Your loops are. You can't stop thinking, but you can train your thinking to fuel action instead of kill it. You do this by giving your mind new rules. Action before perfection. Deadlines before details. Shipping before safety. Your Ferrari brain is unstoppable when it's on the road, but deadly when it just spins in the garage. Fact. The top founders, creators, athletes, and artists are not the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones who get their ideas dirty in the real world fast. Closing. Your overthinking mind can be your greatest prison or your sharpest weapon. It can circle the same self-doubt forever, or it can slice through excuses if you aim it outward. The edge isn't more thinking. The edge is movement. Ugly, uncomfortable, undeniable. Every moment you spend circling is one you could spend building. Break the loop. Get out of the prison. Point your brain forward. Hit the gas. Chapter 5. Allergic to exposure. Most people aren't afraid of failing. They're afraid of failing where everyone can see. Being judged is a sharper pain than losing money or wasting time. You'd rather people think you're brilliant, but hidden than out here and average. So you hide behind the perfect plan, the endless draft, the coming soon. This is the genius's curse. They'd rather look mysterious and unproven than visible and flawed. But here's the ugly truth. Nobody follows mystery for long. They follow proof. The world doesn't gather around potential in secret. It gathers around receipts in public. Fact. A Harvard study found that people will always trust visible effort over claimed skill. Show your work, even badly, and you win trust. Hide your work, no matter how genius it is, and you vanish. A real story, the writer who hid his pages. There's a graveyard of brilliant manuscripts nobody's read. One belonged to a writer named John Kennedy Toole. He spent years writing his novel, A Confederacy of Dunces, but refused to share it because he thought it wasn't good enough. He died before it was ever published. His mother found the manuscript in a box. She fought for years to get someone to read it. When they finally did, it won the Pulitzer Prize. His genius needed exposure to live. But for him, it came too late. Exposure is the test. When you show your work, you get the only data that matters. Does it hold up? Does it connect? Does it flop? Most clever people hate this test because they think the test is a judgment of them. It's not. It's a calibration of the work. Fact. The biggest YouTube channels? They didn't get big off one perfect video. They got big because they shipped hundreds of average ones that taught them what sticks. You get sharper by being seen, not by polishing in the dark. Challenge. The small exposure. Keycap 1, pick one thing you're hiding. A draft, a clip, a sketch, an idea. Keycap 2, share it somewhere today. No disclaimers. No self-sabotage apology. Keycap 3, let people react. Good, bad, silent. It all feeds the next step. Nobody cares as much as you think. The fear of exposure is built on one lie. They're all watching. They'll all laugh. Truth. Most people are too busy worrying about their own scoreboard to watch yours for more than 5 seconds. Fact. Psychologists call it the spotlight effect. We dramatically overestimate how much people notice our mistakes. In reality, they forget by tomorrow, but you're better forever because you dared to show up. The only real exposure that hurts is the exposure you never get, because then nobody knows you exist at all. Public scoreboard mindset. Keycap 1. Next time you post, say this out loud. Nobody's watching as closely as I think. Keycap 2. Hit publish. Keycap 3. Repeat 50 times. Watch your fear shrink. The scoreboard stops being scary when you build your reps. Visibility is leverage. Being visible does 3 things no genius in hiding ever gets. Keycap 1. It attracts opportunity. People can only hire, pay, share, or back what they see. Keycap 2. It makes you better. Your worst post teaches you more than your best idea sitting in your head. Keycap 3. It builds unstoppable momentum. Consistency in public makes you undeniable over time. Fact. Mr. Beast's first videos were terrible, mumbled commentary on Minecraft with 200 views. But he made 100 plus videos that nobody watched and kept shipping. Today, his empire moves more money and influence than entire TV networks. His advantage wasn't raw genius. It was unstoppable visibility. Punch. Exposure hurts your pride, but it feeds your power. Private genius is a museum piece. Public proof is a magnet. Stop fearing the scoreboard. Be willing to look like an amateur on your way to becoming undeniable. That's the price. That's the path. Chapter 6. Undeniable, not understood. You waste too much energy trying to be understood. You want people to get you, to see the vision in your head, to respect how deep it goes. You crave the nod. I see what you're doing, genius. But here's the truth. Most people will never fully understand you. They can't. They're too busy surviving their own stories. And the more time you spend explaining your brilliance, the less time you spend proving it. The edge is not being understood. The edge is being undeniable. When your work is undeniable, it needs no defense. When your results speak, nobody cares how you got there. They just line up to watch. Fact. Michelangelo didn't go door to door explaining his sketchbooks. He carved the David 17 feet of marble that shut everyone up for 500 years. A real story, the music nobody got until it owned them. When Kanye West started producing beats, people mocked him for sampling soul records. When he rapped, they said he couldn't be taken seriously, he wasn't hard enough. He didn't argue. He didn't beg to be understood. He made the college dropout, raw, weird, vulnerable, and loud. 20 years later, people don't debate whether they get Kanye. His sound changed the entire industry. Undeniable wins. Explain genius just argues on Twitter. Stop explaining, start proving. Clever people waste years perfecting how to explain their ideas. The pitch deck, the manifesto, the clarifying essay. But proof wins faster than the perfect explanation ever could. Your job isn't to make them understand you. Your job is to show them what's real. When you show them what's real, they figure out what they need to know. Fact. Netflix didn't convince Blockbuster with a pitch. They just put DVDs in mailboxes until customers forced Blockbuster out. The proof over explanation test. Keycap 1. Next time you feel the urge to explain your idea, pause. Keycap 2. Ask, what's one action I could show instead? Keycap 3. Do that first. Talk later. Polarize and filter. When you stop chasing total understanding, you get your sharpest advantage. You become a filter. Being undeniable means some people won't vibe with you. Good. They leave space for the ones who do. The clearer and louder you are, the faster your real audience finds you. Fact. Every major movement, brand, or artist was misunderstood by most people at first and loved deeply by a tiny few. That tiny few spread the fire. Embrace the I don't get it. Keycap 1. Ship something that might confuse outsiders, but excites your people. Keycap 2. If you get I don't get it, smile. It means you're specific enough to attract the right ones. Keycap 3. Repeat. The confused ones filter themselves out. Build something that can't be ignored. The only cure for being misunderstood is building something too big, too loud, too real to overlook. Proof is not polite. It kicks in the door. If your work is undeniable, people come to understand you on your terms. You don't bend to explain yourself to doubters. Your results speak for you. Fact. Nobody understood Tesla's electric cars at first. Big automakers laughed. Now they're forced to copy the blueprint. Closing. Being understood is cozy. Being undeniable is powerful. Your job is not to be perfectly decoded by everyone. Your job is to be impossible to ignore because your receipts are so real they bend the room around you. No more over-explaining. No more waiting for permission. No more needing approval. The mission is proof. The outcome is undeniable. Chapter 7. Outsmart the trap. Your brain is brilliant enough to build you a kingdom, or smart enough to trap you inside its walls. Most clever people lose because they aim their intelligence inward, analyzing themselves to death, solving problems that don't exist yet. Your brain should be your sharpest tool, not your padded cell. The difference between the stuck genius and the dangerous genius? The stuck one overthinks. The dangerous one outsmarts the trap and outworks everyone stuck inside it. Fact: top performers don't think less, they think differently. They point their thinking outward, toward experiments, feedback, real obstacles, instead of turning it inward into doubt and delay. A real story: the dropout who outsmarted the room. Richard Branson had dyslexia. He struggled in school, barely passed classes, dropped out at 16. By the genius standard, he should have been just another wasted potential. But Branson outsmarted the trap. Instead of trying to look smart, he used his brain to play the game differently. He asked better questions. How can I do this faster? How can I make this fun? How can I break the rules nobody sees? That's how a broke teenager built Virgin, a $4 billion empire spanning music, airlines, and space travel. He didn't get stuck inside his brain. He pointed it outward and attacked reality. The cleverness loop. Cleverness is a loop. You have an idea, you see all the ways it could go wrong, you research more, you spot more flaws, you find a better plan, you feel smart, you do nothing. Repeat. Meanwhile, the less clever person launches, fails in public, learns by force, and passes you. Fact: a Princeton study on entrepreneurs found that over-planning kills more startups than bad ideas ever do. Action solves problems planning can't predict. Challenge: break the loop. Keycap 1. Next time you feel the urge to figure it all out, force a 48-hour limit. Plan a version, not the final masterpiece. Keycap 2. Launch or test that version immediately. Keycap 3. Take what reality teaches you, not what your brain guessed. Outsmart with experiments. Your edge isn't your ability to imagine outcomes. It's your nerve to test them faster than anyone else. Smart people spend too long asking, will this work? Dangerous people run a cheap test and find out. Fact: Spotify didn't plan a perfect music empire. They launched in tiny Sweden, tested how people used it, learned on the fly, then scaled what worked. The trap is the fantasy of perfect information. The escape is experiments. The $20 test. Keycap 1. Take an idea, you keep analyzing. Keycap 2. Find a way to test it with $20 or less. Run an ad, launch a landing page, make a single post, do a mini sale. Keycap 3. Study the real response. Build from there. Outsmart with work, not wishes. The final level, outsmarting the trap, means outworking your clever excuses. You don't beat the clever loop with bigger thoughts. You beat it with bigger action. Work is the crowbar that pries you out of your own head. Fact: most best-selling authors don't have more talent. They have a word count target. They trap their brain with a rule: 1,000 ugly words a day, no matter what. That's how genius ideas become finished books. Challenge: create a trap for the trap. Keycap 1. Pick a simple daily work rule. 1 video a day, 1 pitch a day, 1 page a day. Keycap 2. Make it so small your excuses feel stupid. Keycap 3. Stick to it for 30 days. Let reality fix what your mind can't. Closing: your brain is not the problem. Your brain aimed at itself is. The clever genius stays stuck in the loop. The dangerous genius breaks the loop with experiments, cheap tests, messy action, and daily proof. Outsmart the trap. Outwork the excuses. Point your mind at the world, not at itself. Chapter 8. The boring edge. Most people want to be special, but they don't want to be boring. They crave the lightning bolt of inspiration. They worship talent, genius, the big idea. But here's the truth no clever mind wants to hear. Greatness is boring. Power is boring. Winning is boring, because it's just the same small, repeatable thing done daily while everyone else looks for shortcuts. Fact: most million-dollar businesses didn't come from billion-dollar genius. They came from 1,000 days of boring, visible work. Same emails, same cold calls, same messy drafts, same uploads when nobody's watching. A real story, the boring routine that built a legend. Stephen King writes 2,000 words every single day. Holidays, sick days, birthdays. He doesn't wait for the muse. He doesn't debate whether it's good enough. He sits down, writes his words, closes the laptop. That's 730,000 words a year. That's why his name is stamped on books that will outlive him, while thousands of more talented writers wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Consistency beats intensity. Most people sprint for 3 days, burn out, then disappear for 3 months. They post 10 videos in a week, get 0 views, and quit. They write half a book in a weekend, then forget it for years. The real edge is not your talent. It's not your big genius moments. It's your boring, repeatable cycle that makes the genius moments possible. Fact: Jerry Seinfeld built his legendary stand-up career by writing 1 joke a day. He called it "Don't Break the Chain." 1 joke. Every day. Years later, he's a billionaire because boring beats brilliant when brilliant stays hidden. Challenge: build your chain. Keycap: 1. Pick your minimum daily action. 1 video. 1 post. 1 page. Keycap: 2. Mark it on a calendar every day you do it. Keycap: 3. Don't break the chain for 30 days. Watch how boring turns into unstoppable momentum. Boring makes you undeniable. When you stay boring, your audience can't ignore you. When you stay boring, your skills can't help but sharpen. When you stay boring, your luck can't help but find you, because you're always there. Fact: Mr. Beast's first 100 videos got almost no views. Today, he's a billionaire not because of a viral video, but because he kept posting when nobody cared. Your boring grind is what makes you visible when the big moment finally comes. Mini challenge: outlast the quitters. Keycap: 1. Promise yourself. Most people quit in the silent phase. Keycap: 2. Repeat. My job is to outlast that phase. Keycap: 3. Keep posting. Keep recording. Keep pitching. Let boredom make you undeniable. Boring protects you from perfection. Perfection is a luxury. Boring routine leaves no space for it. When you commit to daily output, you don't have time to overpolish. You build by showing up, not by rethinking the same line for the 200th time. Fact: Isaac Asimov published more than 500 books. His secret? He didn't believe in writer's block. He just wrote. Every day. Boring. Brutal. Unstoppable. Challenge: boring your way to mastery. Keycap: 1. Pick something you keep trying to make perfect. Keycap: 2. Ship an imperfect version today. Keycap: 3. Ship another tomorrow. Keycap: 4. Repeat until you're bad. Work is better than most people's perfect plan. Closing. The world boasts of boring. It doesn't care how clever you are. It cares whether you show up. It doesn't care how inspired you feel. It cares if you deliver. Boring is the moat nobody wants to dig, so it protects you while everyone else waits for magic. Be boring. Be visible. Be undeniable. Chapter 9. Proof, not promise. Potential is free. Proof is expensive. Anyone can promise. Very few deliver. Your clever mind loves promises. They feel good to say. They sound big in your head. I'm going to start the business. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to change the game. But here's the savage truth. Nobody pays you for what you almost did. The world only pays receipts. Fact: investors don't back ideas, they back traction. Readers don't share drafts, they share finished books. Customers don't buy coming soon, they buy what's real. A real story. The startup that promised, the one that proved. In 2010, 2 startups raced to be the Uber of food. One wrote fancy decks, raised millions, promised restaurants a revolution. They spent years pitching. The other built a janky app, signed up 10 restaurants in one city, and proved people would order. Investors saw the receipts: real people, real money, real momentum. One disappeared. The other became DoorDash. Promises feel safe. Your brain loves promises because they're invisible. A promise can't fail because it never faces reality. Your ego loves them, too, because people nod when you say big plans. You get the dopamine hit now, but you pay the price later. You're just another talker. Fact: behavioral science shows we feel rewarded just by saying a goal. That's why telling people your plan can trick your mind into thinking you did it. The fix? Show them instead. Challenge: replace a promise with proof. Keycap: 1. Take one thing you keep saying you'll do. Keycap: 2. Pick the smallest version you can prove in 24 hours. A landing page, a demo, a free sample, a rough launch. Keycap: 3. Share that, not the promise. Receipts are magnetic. Proof attracts people. A single receipt is worth 1,000 promises. The first customer review. The first messy prototype in someone's hands. The first, I paid for this. That's the magnet. That's what pulls real support. Fact. Patreon didn't get famous because of the idea. Creators signed up when they saw other creators earning real money. Receipts pulled more receipts. Promises don't do that. Proof does. Challenge. Create your first receipt. Keycap 1. What's the simplest proof you can show? A paying client. A test user. A real post live. A real dollar in, not just a plan on paper. Keycap 2. Capture it. Screenshot it. Publish it. Keycap 3. Let that tiny proof pull bigger ones. Output. Intention. Nobody writes history books about what people meant to do. They write them about what got done, even if it was messy, half-baked, or done by someone less brilliant than you. You do not want to be the ghost genius everyone whispers about. He could have been great. You want to be the loud builder everyone points to. She did it. Fact. Tons of artists in the 70s were better than Andy Warhol in raw skill, but Warhol produced so much work, so visibly, that he became the proof. Mini challenge. Adopt the receipt mindset. Keycap 1. Every idea. Ask, how can I prove this today? Keycap 2. Every week. Ask, what receipts did I generate? Keycap 3. Every month. Add up the visible proof, not the hidden plans. Closing. Nobody cares what you could have been. They care what you shipped. They care what you showed them. They care about the receipts, not the resume you never wrote. Your brain is a weapon. Your work is the bullet. Pull the trigger. Leave a mark. Chapter 10. The final move. You don't need another plan. You need a system that leaves you no way out but forward. Potential is rented. Execution pays for it. Proof locks it in. But all of it dies if you don't build a life that forces you to keep producing when motivation fades. Most clever people have a spark once in a while. Undeniable people build a machine, one that keeps them shipping, seen, tested, undeniable. Fact. The highest performers don't trust their willpower. They build routines, rules, and traps that make quitting harder than showing up. A real story. The system beats the mood. Jocko Willink, retired Navy SEAL, posts his watch at 4:30 a.m. every morning. The world laughs. Who cares? It's not about the watch. It's about the trap. He knows once the watch photo is up, he's up. Once he's up, the workout happens. Once the workout happens, the day's already won before the sun rises. It's boring. It's small. It's daily. That's why he wins. Make it too easy to fail. Your genius loves complex plans. Kill that. You don't need big. You need so small that skipping it feels stupid. Write one page. Post one short. Send one email. Daily. Without fail. Tiny steps done forever break mountains that clever plans never move. Fact. Atomic Habits, one of the best-selling self-help books ever, is literally built on this truth. Make it obvious. Make it easy. Make it repeatable. Challenge the too small to skip rule. Keycap 1. Pick your daily non-negotiable. So small you can't skip it. Keycap 2. Schedule it so early that excuses don't wake up before you do. Keycap 3. Repeat until it's automatic. Effortless is unbeatable. Make quitting expensive. Most clever people quit quietly because there's no cost. Smart builders trap themselves with stakes. Make quitting cost you money. Make quitting cost you reputation. Make quitting cost you pride. Tell the world. Show the progress. Let people see when you slip, so you don't. Fact. Some entrepreneurs pay friends to hold a deposit. If I don't launch by this date, you keep the money. A deadline with a penalty forces the work to get done. Set your public trap. Keycap 1. Pick a goal and deadline. Keycap 2. Announce it to someone. A friend, a follower, a group. Keycap 3. Add a real stake. Money, a promise, something you hate to lose. Keycap 4. Deliver or pay the cost. Make it bigger than you. The final move. Make your work about more than just you. You'll break promises to yourself, but you'll fight harder when your work feeds your people, your family, your legacy. Your genius is not just for you to hoard. It's fuel for someone else's fire. Fact. Most people don't realize Steve Jobs wasn't the best engineer. He was the best mission builder. He made people feel like shipping the next device meant changing the world. That's how you outlast clever plans. You make it matter. Mini challenge. Name your why. Keycap 1. Write down who or what your output serves. Your kids, your story, your proof for the next genius who feels stuck. Keycap 2. Put it where you work. On your laptop, your phone, your wall. Keycap 3. When excuses come, read it. Your mind will quit on you. Your mission won't. Closing punch. This is it. No more genius stuck in your head. No more rented potential you never pay for. No more perfect plans you never build. Just receipts. Just proof. Just output that multiplies. The edge is simple. Start ugly. Stay visible. Be boring. Leave receipts. Trap your clever mind inside a life that must produce. Turn your ideas into proof the world can't ignore. When you do, you don't need to ask for respect. You become the proof. You are the trail. Now shut this book. Go build the receipts. Be undeniable.